All right, welcome back to News Sources. Wondering what your thoughts and opinion are on that particular latest Kenya Film Censorship Board attempts to say, well, we can actually audit and ban all tribalist and witch doctors. What's your thoughts? Tweet us at KTN Kenya, at KTN News, at James Smart, at Dion Sorigo. Wonder what your thoughts and opinions are.
Now, pilots of the national carrier Kenya Airways have put on hold their strike until June. The pilots want the current managing director to resign, among many other demands. Is it more than just having the CEO go home or the engines of the Pride of Africa are just misfiring? Manu, as we speak now, they have grounded flights up until 2 a.m. in the morning. What exactly is going on at KQ?
You know, Dennis, first of all, Kenya Airways, I have a flight tomorrow. I hope my flight will be on time, and I hope there'll be a pilot in to fly that aeroplane. But having said that, I mean, it's a sad case that we've reached at a point where they're starting to say that the CEO should leave. I've not seen anything significant or anything tangible that you can say they've laid as a case to make the CEO leave. They're saying there's a lot of running down on the airline, and everybody knows historically that the problems with Kenya Airways did not start today. They started, I think, with a strategy about 7 years ago when they began importing the 787s and moving some routes or cancelling some routes that they should have cancelled, changing them some flights, and that's where the problem is.
Wafula, how bad is this?
I think, plainly put, the Kenya Airways pilots, I'm afraid to say, they are being a bit irresponsible. That's what I look at it. Because, I mean, Mbuvi is a man who has been asked to fix the leakages of the airline. You come into a house that is burning, you are running to find water to pour on it. You need all the hands that are there to help you do that. I mean, this is not the time to get out to try to sabotage these efforts. If they came up and said, okay, look, Mbuvi has done 1, 2, 3, 4 things that we find are against the interest of the airline, then we shall have a discussion. But just coming up to make a demand that you don't want the CEO, and this gentleman has hardly been there as a CEO for more than 1 year, I mean, it's not fair. And then at this point in time, I find it a bit of a challenge because, look, the airline posted 25 billion in losses, and you're trying to rescue that. They have come to government for a bailout. They have gone again to their main shareholder KLM to try and get some money out of it. They are borrowing. They are selling space in UK. They are doing virtually everything. They have sold the land.
The only thing that I disagree with Wafula, before you say anything, is that let's also not forget that Mbuvi was a COO at the time.
He was in the system.
He was in the system, and he had been there for a very long period of time. And being a COO, it means that you've got you're at the table when the decisions are being made. You can be able to drive decisions whether it goes right or left. You are involved in the decision making process of where do we invest, how much, and what do we need to do. So therefore, I agree that Mbuvi probably might be the wrong person to stone, but he was on the table.
He's not completely
if you understand the Kenya Airways,
before you say what you want to say, there are issues again. These pilots are saying that KQ Cargo, that should be bringing in revenue to Kenya Airways, is owned by an employee of Kenya Airways. How true is this, and how bad is this?
I mean, that will be bad. If this has really happened, these are issues that should be in court right now. Someone should be, we should know the names. Have they come up with the names? This good information. The problem with Kenya Airways, let me tell you what happened, is they keep all these things among themselves. When there's trouble, when there's announcing of, let's say, another retrenchment exercise, then all these guys now, all this information starts coming out. Like, for some time, we were really looking for the real issues about Kenya Airways, and it was difficult to get these things. But right now that there's trouble, I mean, everybody's trying to come out and tell you all these sorts of allegations. So you need first to get the information and say, what is the interest of these people? But what I wanted to say before you interrupted me was that, look,
rudely interrupted.
The CEO at that point, he came in like a year. Actually, he's not been there for, he was plucked from KLM or wherever he was. He was not in Kenya Airways. Two, if you understand how the previous management used to operate, I mean, you will not say anything. After James, I mean, after Naikundi will say, but you will not say anything. It was one way.
Gentlemen, let me tell you something. I think the interesting thing, and the KQ problem, is probably a manifestation of what we suffer from as Kenyans at large.
As a country.
That every time something does not go the way it's supposed to go, the way you want it, then you protest, you strike. Nobody has gone to court. Those documents have not been tabled anywhere. So it almost sounds like it is a rumor. It's just convenient that they're going on strike when the retrenchment exercise is just about to start.
All right. that would possibly since ground this discussion, as Kenya Airways is all grounded already. But Chase Bank and depositors' savings, the bank has opened and its ATM machines are working, and customers have finally getting the anxieties out of the way. Now, where does this leave the banking industry? This is what one customer had to say.
Huko nikufe maji ende na mimi kwa sababu pali nitapata hii pesa sina, na pali nitapata school fees pia sina, kwa sababu nimeona hii notice ya Central Bank ni after 1 year.
All right, Banwa, Chase Bank is back. It's all kumbaya, hold hands, and we're done. Nothing happened.
No, it's not that nothing happened. I think let us not forget the lessons that Chase Bank has taught us. I think it's a watershed moment in our short history as a country and the short history of our financial institutions. That within 2 weeks, and that has never happened before in this country, within 2 weeks of a bank being put under receivership, we are back up and running. And I remember I told people this.
How pretty fast, Manu?
I told,
what happened here? How pretty fast?
Hold on, I told Nasa that, listen, Chase Bank will come back stronger. A friend of mine was almost betting with me 100,000 shillings. I told him I don't want to take your money for no reason. And it has come back stronger. It has for everything.
I think it is too early. You want some money there. It's too early. It's too early to say that. 1 minute. It is too early to say that because look, where Chase Bank is sitting right now, it's actually not out of the woods yet. It's still under receivership. Kenya Commercial Bank is managing cases.
Nobody's disputing that.
It's basically, once you are in receivership,
you're now starting to be very technical. Let's put it in a simple way that Njoroge and my mom will understand it.
Yes.
If my mom goes to Chase Bank today, will she be able to withdraw money or bank money? Is that a yes or no? Will she?
Yes, she will withdraw.
She may not understand the term receivership.
1 million, she will be able to withdraw that.
And I'm not saying that everything is clean at Chase Bank. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying at this moment, if I was to take a picture today, everybody who needs to withdraw money can be able to withdraw money.
When you say everyone, then you do not understand. You don't understand Chase Bank. No, let me finish. He can't go and challenge on that one.
Yes.
Let me try and let him understand this fact that the people who have 1 million and below are 97% of the bank, right? And that is like 6 billion and less. It doesn't make any financial sense on the Chase Bank books. Because let me tell you one thing, the money that was missing before, that was unaccounted for in bad loans was about 16.6 billion. So 6 billion is really a drop in the ocean.
I think that is the
real guys, the real guys who have 90 billion.
Was this 2% the reason why we opened Chase Bank?
These are the people.
I think the 3 things that we need to make, I think the 3 points that we must make. And one of them is to re-educate Wafula here. That, you see,
second point.
I agree.
Yes.
In re-educating Wafula is that putting Chase Bank under receivership was not because of the bad loans. It was because of the run on the bank on that day. And the central bank has said about 7 or 8 billion was withdrawn on a single day. Therefore, with the estimates they gave last week, is that the 97%, the total amount of money they could have withdrawn on one day is about 6 billion shillings. The numbers that I've seen, and don't ask me how I came to see them, indicate that only 1.1 billion shillings was withdrawn yesterday. Only 1.1 billion shillings. Pesa Mfukoni, or Chase Mfukoni app, which is the one that led to the run on the bank, the total transactions were about only 5,000.
I think.
One second. That is the truth.
I have a lot of passion for this Chase Bank story because it's a story
that
has been following. Before you make your third point, I know
No, Manu,
you have an
good
account.
speakers are also good listeners. Let's listen to Wafula.
You have to understand the background. You see, if you tell us that it was because of the run of the band, then you really do not understand what was happening at Chase Bank before then. That was just, a watershed moment. What really happened was Chase Bank at some point was in strain. It actually went to the CBK seeking 10 billion. And the CBK told them, no, we can't give you 10 billion. It ran to other banks to ask them, look, give us some money on what was what they call interbank rates. And they were told, no, we can't give you. But it was that now made it worse for them because now when people are coming for their money and you can't go to get it anywhere else, your cash reserve goes down and you suffer the consequence. And yes, I agree that it was actually what caused it to be put under receivership. That day, it was because of the run. That is right. But they have issues
in
that
exactly 5 seconds.
Yeah?
No, you see, what Wafula forgets is that, and I've written about this, Chase Bank problems started last year. If we want to start talking about the bad loans.
Yeah.
And last year alone, in the last quarter of 2015, 35 billion shillings were withdrawn from the bank. I don't know if you're aware of that. So therefore, while there are bad loans or insider loans or whatever people want to call them, that was not the actual source of why the bank was closed. It's just that by the ratios in the banking industry, the following day they did not have enough liquidity because of that 7 billion gap. But just to close my point, I think as we say everything,
Yes.
there's some groups of people we are forgetting.
In 5 seconds.
The Chase employees, and Caroline Mutoko did this in one of her videos, to celebrate the Chase employees who are called chasers, who've managed to create a level of confidence for people to be able to go to the bank yesterday and today. And secondly, the people who began the bank, and I think that story is one day somebody to tell their stories.
That's a story for another day.
That they've created a bank.
That's a story for another day.
All of a sudden,
Manuel.
we used to say equity,
That's
but
a story
now
for another
Chase
day,
Bank
Manuel.
is the coolest thing.
We can say
That's a
Chase.
story for another day. We can say Chase.
All right.
Yes.
Is Uganda kissing without telling? Kenya has lost an oil deal to its neighbor Tanzania that in the past has been seen as the young girl in the crowd. Kenya is insisting it will go its own way. Is Kenya losing its grip in this region, Manuel?
You know, I think first of all, we need to understand the geopolitics of the Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And there's a lot of politics that is not said. There are 7 reasons that have been presented on why we lost the deal. Qatar, or the CS for Energy also, I think the newspaper I saw today, or was it yesterday, saying that when the Kenya was arriving at the table, the deal was already done with Tanzania.
Yeah.
But outside of that, we need to go back in time and remember that during the coalition of the unwilling between Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda, Tanzania was locked out, if you recall that.
Wafula, good deal, bad deal.
I think where you sit, every nation has to look for its interest. It was in the interest of Uganda. They looked at their interest, their numbers, what it meant, and they chose the better route for them. I mean, it's like you want this deal because you are Kenya, but you can't offer what the Tanzanians are giving you. I mean, you have to accept when you are beaten to a deal. And look at it, the others. We have like 10% oil of what is here that Uganda has. Uganda has 6.5 billion barrels. We have 600 million. That's not worth a discussion to go to Uganda and say we have anything.
But you see, Wafula, what you forget is that the oil pipeline passing through Tanzania to Tanga, from an economic perspective, between Tanzania and Kenya, if we were to develop as an East African community, we will develop a lot more as a community if that pipeline passed through Kenya than it passed through Tanzania, because the only benefit for Tanzania is what they will charge at the point of discharge.
Can we agree we lost this deal because of poor diplomacy and naive politics?
We lost it. I mean, we sat out.
Can we just agree?
We sat out.
No, we can't agree.
We sat out too late. We were there confident that we still have this thing. And Tanzanians came and gave them a better deal. They did all the feasibility studies that they did and came up and said,
Manwa, you're the one who's advanced the point. Yeah. Manwa, you advanced the point here of your mother understanding. Simple, your mother watching tonight. Why did we lose this deal? Without being too...
We lost the deal. We lost the deal because our brothers from Tanzania have been feeling sidelined for a very long time by their Kenyan neighbors. It's as simple as that.
That will not be a reason, surely. That will not be a
reason. We set aside some money last year to get rid of El Nino. It never happened. The pictures on your screen now, behind you and ahead of you, shows you that Nairobi has turned into a river. Thika Road is in the thick of things. Again, another bad deal, good deal, Manu, in a minute.
No, on this one, let me tell you, on this one, I will blame Kenyans. We are the same people who throw polythene papers out of our cars, out of our windows, out of our houses. When they go and clog all sorts of drainages, then we start blaming the system for not clearing those drainages.
Wafula, I think the beautiful Thika
superhighway.
Two things. One, it is obvious. Thika superhighway was not made in a way to think about drainage. Even on the first week we went and launched it, there was a small downpour and it was flooded. That we saw, and we talked about it. And it was like, oh, you guys do not like to see what is happening. You can say as Kenyans have thrown litter and so on and so forth. But this is a system. Like, what does the Nairobi county government do? This is something they should have fixed. We also have
Rwanda. They banned polythene altogether. Here we are playing around.
Are you saying we have a sound drainage system in place?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That is not
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
that's what it sounded
like.
like.
No, what I'm saying is that this, you see, we make assumption this drainage system was either clogged overnight, because there are some days that it has rained, and the drainage system has worked, right? This time around it rained, it did not work. So what happened between when it last rained last month and when it rained today? What has happened? What has changed?
that is
We've been
politics.
throwing-
You are saying
we've been
there's
throwing-
all that is
We've been
politics.
throwing-
What has changed?
Manu, we've been throwing
Be
too
fair,
much
be fair.
polythene in the
Be
last
fair
1
to
month or
Kenyans.
so.
I mean, this
Well,
can't be all polythene.
that's where we'll end it tonight. Clogged conversation, if you like. That's us for News Sources. Dennis Onsarigo, Manu Magoma, thank you very much. And Paul Afula, that's News Sources. Do it all over again next week.